I, 25M. Am no longer attracted to my girlfriend, 25F. Early into the pandemic, my girlfriend gained about 40 pounds. She is fairly short, 5 feet 3 inches, so the difference is striking. She used to be very active but stopped exercising altogether and got into very bad eating habits. She now overeats a lot. For reference, I am 6 female tall and she almost always eats much more than I do at pretty much every meal and is constantly snacking on top of that. Before the pandemic she led a very healthy and regimented diet. Now she pretty much always favors unhealthy carb-heavy and caloric meals. In the beginning I tried not to broach the subject as I know she is very sensitive about her appearance and I figured it would pass as the pandemic took a toll on everyone. She would ask me if I was still attracted to her, if she looked different than before, etc., and I would always lie and tell her what I thought she wanted to hear. I know this is bad, but I was nervous to say anything because she used to be bulimic and had very serious mental health issues having to do with how she perceived the way she looked. In retrospect, I probably should have been honest from the beginning. About a year into the pandemic, she asked me again, and I decided to be honest with her. I said that yes, I am less attracted to her, but I know she's going through a tough time and I am willing to support her through it so she can hopefully go back to her healthy habits. This made her very upset and she responded by saying I wasn't being fair because she was always the hotter one in the relationship, and was still attracted to me. This really pissed me off, but I didn't say anything and basically just told her, never mind. She got more upset and ended up going to her parents' house for a few days. When she came back we talked about it again and she said she would start seeing a therapist and dietitian, and she acknowledged that her lifestyle was not sustainable. My theory is her parents must have said something because her mom and I have talked about how we're both concerned about her health. Nevertheless, having sex with her has been and continues to be difficult. I basically have to close my eyes and think of the way she looked before. I wish this wasn't the case. I wish could I just be attracted to her for the way she is. I really do. I love her and I love spending time with her, and I know if this element was removed our relationship would be perfect. But something in my brain chemistry won't allow it. It has been a year since she started seeing the therapist and dietitian. She hasn't lost any weight but hasn't gained any either. I am not sure how much longer I can go. We are having sex very rarely and it is entirely on me. I limit it a lot. I avoid it. And she is not happy about it. I have recently started to have very invasive thoughts about having sex with other women in my life. I feel like a total perv because of this. Wish I could get rid of these thoughts. Of course I would never, ever act on it. I really want to make it through this because I love her and I have never met someone I get along with so well. But I really don't know what to do at this point. How much longer can I really wait? I am hesitant to talk to her again because I know how much it upsets, and bringing up my lack of attraction again would probably be really traumatic for her. I really don't want to affect her mental health negatively. I'm honestly just at a loss. I have no idea what to do. I wish I could just reprogram my brain to be attracted to her. I really don't want to leave her because of this. Also, I'll just mention that we've been together for 3.5 years, in case that gives some more context. Too long did not read. Girlfriend gained a lot of weight. No longer attracted her. Want to be patient and support her through it but not sure how much longer I can. I stayed with a dude for 5 years too long that I no longer was attracted to but I didn't want to hurt. Bad idea. I wasted his time and mine. It takes more than love to make a relationship. Yes, breaking up hurts but we all get over it. She will too. I'm on the exact same boat, the genders are just reversed. Ever since COVID, my boyfriend gained a ton of weight and he tells me all the time how he hates the way he looks and he needs to lose weight but he doesn't do anything to actually make a change. I'm no longer sexually attracted to him either and avoid having sex a lot, but I do love him dearly. I just wish I could snap out of it. Wishing the best for both of our relationships. And don't listen to the people on here shaming you for your feelings, it's completely normal. Get Hello Fresh or something like that and suggest eating out together once a month and encourage her to join you in swimming or something. Make it about the activities, not about the affect things are having on her. Reading comments in this thread has me baffled why anyone would take relationship advice from Redditors. My God. I think a lot of people fail to see the psychological need for attraction in terms of intimacy. It isn't as black and white as, either you are attractive or you aren't. Maybe it's different when it comes to marriage, in sickness and in health. But without a doubt maintaining that connection whether mentally, emotionally, physically and so on can keep tension like this from being difficult. I feel for you man, You seem to be working hard when many others would simply give up. I wish the best for you and hope that if the time came where you have to openly communicate, things won't go awry. This is a tough one because nothing you say is going to give her the motivation to lose weight. She has to come to the decision on her own. It has to be something she really wants for herself, and until that happens you're pushing shit uphill. I don't even think you admitting you're not attracted to her will be the motivation she needs. Can you maybe start working out together? Let it remind her how good she felt? Start off simple. Go for walks or hikes. Make it something enjoyable that isn't focused on losing weight maybe? If you aren't happy, then leave. There's much you can do about it. Honestly, be honest. Your mental health matters too. Talk to her. My girlfriend just went through my phone, but she won't let me go through hers. I am beyond pissed off right now. My girlfriend just went through my phone, which is fine because I have nothing to hide, but she won't let me go through hers. When she points one finger at you, there's three more pointing back at her. She's looking for something to use to make everyone believe she isn't the only asshole who cheated and the breakup is your fault. It isn't your fault, so get out of there. Red flag, she has something to hide. Look at her actions. If she had nothing to hide she wouldn't mind it, right? Don't make the same mistake that I did, bro. It's called projection. She's very likely cheating on you. Dude. You can worry about this, and you can stalk her, and you can force her. Or you can just break up. Move on. She is hiding something, and if you give her any time alone with her phone it'll be gone and you'll be relieved. Respect yourself and break up. She was hoping to find something in your phone to make her feel less guilty for her antics. Red flag, brother, get a password and cut her out. She projecting, she's probably doing something shady, so she wanted to catch you doing something shady to either not look like the bad guy, to get rid of guilt, or to blame the fallout of the failed relationship on you. Tell her to come clean or you're out. I'd say you should leave regardless though. Just depends on if you want to actually stay in the relationship. I used to go through my BF's phone due to insecurities and problems and lies, etc. But I never would have said no to him if he wanted to do the same. Please get out of the relationship for your own sake. I was toxic, she is toxic and definitely hiding something. Mom told me to kill myself if I became gay. My mom believes in GD and so do I, but she doesn't believe that GD will forgive you for being gay. I disagree and believe you should make relationships with people of various beliefs and only should cut them out if they affect you badly. She even said if I slept around with 1,000 women GD would still forgive me, but he would hate me if I ever became gay. I laughed at this because I knew it was crap and went against everything the gospel says, but my question is, what should I do? Do I cut her out of my life or do I try and reconcile? I in no way want to go back into our relationship, but some of my friends say I should stay with her and even my brother wants me to stay. Sorry for any misspelling or bad sentence writing. Edit. Thank you everyone for all of the support that I don't deserve, but I'd like to clear a few things up. 1. I myself am not gay, but I hate how my mom believes in what she does too. Some people don't know because it wasn't in the post, but I'm only 16 so I can't leave the house yet. And 3. I go to a boarding school because my home life is crap. My dad is a secret alcoholic. My mom told me to mess up my image of him. And my extended family avoids me. One of my posts explains why. So my mom blames me for it. Don't bring up the subject with her again. If she brings it up with you, tell her you will not discuss it anymore. Hang up or leave the room, house if she refuses to drop it. I am also a Christian and I believe in God. I also believe every human being on this planet has the right to be who they are without judgment. The Bible actually tells us we are not to judge others and that should only be left for Him to do. Literally the only thing we are supposed to do is love others. My parents are extremely conservative and have the same issue as your mom. Since we don't agree about several topics I try to avoid them altogether. Your mother's hatred toward you is unacceptable and shocking. Suggesting therapy for your mother is the only thing you can do to help her. I would leave the situation as fast as possible. If you or someone you know is contemplating suicide, please reach out. You can find help at a national suicide prevention lifeline. USA. 18,002,738,255 U.S. Crisis Text Line. 741,741 Text Home. United Kingdom. 116,123. Trans Lifeline. 877-565-8860. Others. Don't kill yourself. You have to outlive her. I also believe in God, and part of that belief is that God doesn't make mistakes. So if God made you the way you are, it was absolutely His will for you to be who you are. How old are you? Are you still living with your parents? If so, you're going to have to appease them for a while. Play just nice enough to get by until you can be independent. Study hard. Position yourself for financial freedom and move out as soon as possible. Find your own place in the world and build a life that gives you love and acceptance and good things. Then you have the power to tell her that she can accept you as you are or she will no longer be welcome in your life. Many parents come around when confronted with this. Unless she is seriously unhinged, she will not kill herself. And if she did, that would be on her, not you. You can't live an inauthentic life based on her threats. I'll be your mom. I'll give you all the acceptance you deserve, a hug, a meal and help you plan your wedding. Do not accept less. Oh, I am a mom and I have a child that does not love in traditionally accepted relationships. As long as everyone is safe and loving, I don't have to go momna bear. I also have a very toxic relationship with my parents. I can't control them, their reactions, or their thoughts. I control my own. I can't tell you what to do here, but please remember you are deserving of unconditional love. Not everyone who claims to love you knows what that means, and don't cut off your air supply while diving just to prove a point. Stay safe and find your own happiness. Update. How do I, 29M, approach my wife, 28F, about an intimate tattoo she has that bothers me? This is an update to my previous post here. First, thank you all for the advice, especially some of the comments that never even got upvoted. Some of you were truly thoughtful and made me see things I had not seen before. I decided to just get it over with and bring it up with my wife the night after I posted on Reddit, as I had been beating around the bush far too long and it wasn't really fair to her to let this resentment build around the tattoo. I tried to be calm and not get upset, but I basically tried to tell how it made me feel without trying to make her feel guilty, like I had done in the past. I just admitted the truth. It made me feel insecure, jealous, and also I was having trouble seeing it during sex. I even admitted, I liked the overall design and how I like that she likes it as it's her favorite animal, and I realized that was important to her and it's her body. At first, she was defensive again and you could tell she was ready to tell me she didn't want to talk about it. I think though that she saw I wasn't going to start asking her questions about her ex and stuff, so it lowered her defenses a bit and she was definitely listening more than past times I had brought it up. It turned into 5-6 hours about talking about our relationship late into the night, including our past, and we both talked about things honestly we had done or mistakes we had made around that break that we regret. I feel like it was very cathartic and honest. We had always kind of avoided that topic because it made us sad. I think after opening up she felt more comfortable to talk about the tattoo. As I said in the previous post, she had met this guy prior to me and they had a relationship. It was sort of her first time away from her parents and it was very intense as she was sort of learning to be an adult with him. She has a favorite animal and he had drawn this photo for her as a gift. She loved it. They ended up breaking up, we dated and then broke up and she got back together with him. The first few months with him were super passionate and intense, and in a moment of bad decision making and some alcohol they decided to visit a friend to get this tattoo. She admitted it meant a lot to their relationship because he drew it. The second part she admitted was that the initials were sexual in nature. The location, which also serves a purpose to hide from her parents, was sexual to him and her as well. I know this sounds bad, but let me finish. Maybe TMI for me, but their sexual chemistry apparently was she was very submissive towards him, and the initials, yes, were sort of a sexy stamp that he made in an act of submission. He liked that she would have his initials on her forever, and she, as she put it, being dumb, thought it was hot also. She admitted feeling repressed and wanted to do something wild, and maybe our breakup had something to do with that. Maybe part of the tattoo was to her getting over me and moving on. She had tears explaining this and said it was a mistake and she didn't want to tell me about that as she knew it would make me feel terrible, and also if she remembers the tattoo like that it makes her feel like a whore. To be completely honest, I almost felt relief that I wasn't crazy. I also felt somehow more connected with her as I felt like I knew her even better. It wasn't some secret between her and her ex, she trusted me enough to tell me. I also even learned more about her sexual preferences that I didn't know before. As many people said, her relationship with him was very volatile, very high highs and very low lows. She told me how I am so much more dependable and it's what she really wanted. It felt really good to hear her explain it all to me honestly. Basically, she didn't want me to associate the tattoo with something she doesn't see it as anymore. She finds different meaning in it. She doesn't think about him when she sees it, she more sees it as a journey of her life. At this point she even offered without me prompting to have the tattoo modified, as she acknowledged the initials to me are hard to get past. She also offered to put a band-aid over it during sex. I know this will bother people. I told her let's keep it as is. I felt so much better after her honestly talking about it that it didn't bother me as much anymore. We decided to keep the option open in the future. For now, I am going to try to see the tattoo differently, just like she does. A lot of people said I won, she's my wife and it's her body not mine. I think that is true. I am super lucky and I need to focus on our future, not her past. I tried to post this on the last post to give people an idea what the tattoo looked like. Not her, but similar place and similar type of animal, NSFW. You do you op. My biggest surprise is how people can get married without having conversations about big things like this beforehand. IDK if it's because I was best friends with all my previous SOs, but I'd like to think I know them pretty well as being close enough to not be afraid to ask questions or talk about anything. Like if you're committing your life to somebody, you might want to discuss about a genital tattoo with an ex's BDSM claim, no? Like what do people talk about with their SOs? What type of donuts they like? You talked about initials of the dude, that is what I'd have her remove. Basically, while she really liked the tattoo and can keep it, erasing the initials would be her cutting ties and turning the page while turning the tattoo into a reminder of that page, but independently form the guy. If that makes sense. This doesn't seem resolved to me. The very reason she got the tattoo was because of the ex and he drew it. Also, the initials are sexual in nature and location again, all because of the ex. And, it was done while drunk. But now it just means something totally different to her. Seems like self-deception to me. And she didn't openly admit anything. She told you after you were married and after you had brought it up. How many times? Which you had been tiptoeing around since you got back together after the break. How can this tattoo not be shining in your eye while performing oral on your wife? Would she be okay with a reminder of your past sexual liberation? Sounds like a nice, mature, even-tempered conversation. Very good job being respectful op. Sounds like an abusive relationship. Sometimes it can be hard to see it that way until you're out of it. I would consider leaving. Getting the tattoo removed her decision, and hers alone. You could tell her if she ever wants to, you'll support her fully. That way it doesn't end up being a control issue like getting the tattoo was in the first place. That can easily be modified. If she says it doesn't have any meaning to her now and you don't like it, just modify it. Damn. Sorry for ya bud. Oh my god, if you're a real human, please grow some balls and have her modify it or remove it. She admitted it was done as a stamp of submission to a different guy. This is the worst ending to a story I've seen in a while. Wow, she prioritizes the tattoo over your feelings about the meaning behind it? This is such BS. If the genders were reversed, you all would be after him with a pitchfork, calling him insensitive and immature to keep a sex branding from an ex when it made his wife uncomfortable.